to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
Big Ten champions. Big Ten champs.
National champions, yes.
Oklahoma City bound the Oregon Ducks.
Awesome day to be a Duck, man.
Boom inside. Touchdown Oregon. He gets loose. Fires. Hit. Pops the three. Oh, yeah. It's all Oregon.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider.
It's about how to be a group of people that know how to love each other to the absolute fullest.
Pleasure, joy to be with them each and every day. And I can't wait for the future.
It's just fun to be a part of a community that cares, that is passionate, and when we come together, powerful things can happen.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It's a top 10 matchup at Autzen Stadium. Oregon facing Indiana. We've got a 10:30 pregame show. We've got a just after 12:30 kickoff on CBS. But it all will start nationally on ESPN at 6 a.m. Pacific time from the Memorial Quad on the campus of the University of Oregon. ESPN's College Game Day returns to the Ducks, home Tracktown, USA on Saturday. Oh, I love the fact that Game Day is coming back, and it seems to just be the norm now, which is awesome for the Big Ten's tailgate show that was here earlier. Maybe, who knows what other shows could originate from the University of Oregon campus. But the fact is, I'm excited for all of the students that maybe have not gotten to partake in the early morning festivities. That's a fun experience. I'm excited for all the fans that get to come in and see what Game Day is like live from Eugene. Welcome back to ESPN's College Game Day. I'm Joey Mack. Looking forward to a busy week here. Ryan reviewed the bye week. We heard from a new baseball coach in Matt Floor yesterday. And now we get ready for basketball season with some announcements from the Big Ten Conference. And we will hear the weekly press conference from Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning. H.J. Cohn, our deputy athletic director, also slated to join us here coming up. And after a pair of wins at home, Oregon volleyball head coach Trent Kersten will be here in the Country Financial Studio. I've got an interview booked with Don Fisher, longtime voice of the Hoosiers. We've got Oregon soccer continuing in Big Ten play. Oregon cross country is at home in the Bill Dellinger Invitational on Friday. We'll have updates on Friday's Duck Insider for you then. And I want to take a little bit of time before we hear from Coach Lanning to remind you about our GoDucks.com/in-venue audio experience. Visit GoDucks.com/in-venue audio. And I know based on the feedback, again, we've never done this before this year. Based on the feedback, and we've actually put together some maps of Autzen Stadium's cell phone coverage. And the truth is, some of you will have a better experience connecting than others. But those of you that it works, and I've heard from a few hundred of you now that says that it does work. Get to hear Jerry, Jorgie, the rest of us on the call, just like the transistor radio days with no delay. I'm telling you, it's like less than a second. As Jerry says it, you'll hear it at Autzen Stadium. GoDucks.com/in-venue audio. We look forward to continuing this endeavor, and I think that people have enjoyed it. But again, I realize, sometimes the cell service is what it is when there's a bunch of people. And I'll just be honest with you, my cell phone didn't work the entire whiteout game. Didn't work the whole time. Saul was 2 booths down from me. He's directing the show today. I tried to send a text to Saul. Never worked. It happens. It's just kind of the way it is, right? So we get it. We understand. But those of you that have tried it out, we've appreciated your feedback. And we hope that, cell service is just going to be an easy thing that works for everybody one of these days. But the truth is that those of you who have utilized GoDucks.com/in-venue audio, cool experience. Thanks for doing so. Please try it out again when you're in town as the Ducks take on a very, very good Indiana team. 2 teams that are both very, very balanced. Take that definition in any which way, and it applies to these teams. Good offense, good passing game, but can run the ball. Ducks have probably been a little more balanced, have been statistically more balanced than Indiana in terms of run versus pass distribution. But it's a pair of teams that are both top 15 nationally in pretty much every offensive and defensive category that you're going to look at. That's balance. between both sides of the ball. I think two really good coaches that have put their programs on the national map relatively quickly. What Curt Cignetti has done at Indiana deserves a lot of credit. That was a program that he really turned around. And for Coach Lanning, he's got Oregon back to that national spotlight and did so very quickly. I love this matchup. Two really, really good programs that square off. Before we talk with Coach Lanning today, Oregon returners Nate Biddle and Jackson Shellstad on the men's basketball team were named to the preseason All-Big Ten team today. Now, Jackson Shellstad and Nate Biddle will be representing the Ducks along with Dane Altman at Big Ten Media Days coming up. And I'll tell you, it's unfortunate, bad news for Jackson Shellstad. If you missed the news from the team last week, said he's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks after suffering an injury in practice. Still going to garner those all preseason awards. Both Biddle and Shellstad earned third-team All-Big Ten honors last season. Biddle was a finalist for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Center of the Year Award, was a member of the All-Big Ten defensive team. And Biddle led the Ducks with over 14 points per game last year. He averaged about 7.5 rebounds, 2 blocks, and 2 assists per game. Jackson Shellstad started all 35 games for the Ducks, averaged just under 14 points a game, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, a team-leading 32.9 minutes per game for Jackson Shellstad. So early in the season, things might look a little different. I think Jackson Shellstad, though, sure deserves this preseason honor. The preseason player of the year, won't surprise you, is Braden Smith from Purdue, the defending Big Ten player of the year. But both Nate Biddle and Jackson Shellstad are featured on what I think is a pretty darn good Big Ten all-conference team that includes guys like Nick Martinelli from Northwestern, who was one of the top scorers in all of college basketball last year. Bruce Thornton, experienced guard from Ohio State. Trey Kaufman-Wren, also from Purdue. Of course, Braden Smith. There are so many good names around the Big Ten. And also what you'll notice, let me just point something out. You talk about experience. Senior, graduate, senior, 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 junior, junior. That's the preseason All-Big Ten team. Jackson Shellstad's one of 2 juniors on that list. Everyone else is a senior or a graduate. Experienced conference. And the Ducks feel, I think, pretty good about their chances going in. Some new pieces around them, but I think they've assembled a nice roster. Coach Altman will tell you more about that this week as Big Ten Media Days get underway. All right, Oregon football head coach Dan Lanning in his weekly press conference. Every time we talk with Coach Lanning, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Better cancer care close to home. Dan Lanning previewing a home game against Indiana.
Well, unbelievable opportunity sitting in front of us here with a top 10 matchup versus a really good team. You watch these guys on tape. They do a lot of things well. I think the first thing that just stands out to you is when you look at special teams and how dominant they've been in special teams and blocking kicks, just what they do, and then how they play to their players' strengths. Their quarterback's playing as good as anybody. Obviously, they're extremely well coached on both sides of the ball. They create a lot of havoc on defense, and ultimately that's where we're counting on our fans to be part of what makes this environment great. It's an exciting weekend in Eugene. A lot of people coming to town to watch this game because it's a premier game between two really good teams, and counting on our fans to have a big impact on that game.
So last week you wanted to showcase Autzen Stadium after seeing Happy Valley and kind of let the fans show what they could do with game day coming now, and kind of how much does that elevate this for you guys?
Well, it doesn't necessarily affect our prep, right? The excitement's around playing an unbelievable team, but I think you'd be lying if you said it didn't affect our fans and the excitement around this game that it's going to create for them. And our fans have always been unbelievable, but we want everybody in the Big Ten to get to experience that. So Indiana's coming. They're obviously a really talented team, but our fans got a chance to make an impact, and we want to see it and feel it on Saturday.
His time in Tuscaloosa certainly predated yours, Dan, but I didn't know how much, if at all, because of crossover with Kirby and some other guys, how much time you've ever had a chance to meet with Kurt and obviously just know of his influence and his time there at the receiver position specifically. Yeah,
I haven't, outside of us being around each other, Big Ten meetings. Obviously, everywhere he's been, he's had a lot of success. His team's really well coached. I think the other piece that really sticks out about their staff, you look at their staff, a lot of those guys have been together for a long time, like a lot of continuity, and that speaks to guys that want to coach with him. He's won everywhere he's been, right? That's really apparent, but he's obviously a phenomenal coach and has done a really good job.
Just your impressions and thoughts of their offense. I know it's real balanced, and what do you do to try to combat that balance?
Yeah, I think the first thing that sticks out is this is a team that has a clear identity. They know what they're good at, and they do it really, really, really well. They run the ball well, and they obviously have RPO tags off a lot of their runs that they make sure what they're running it into an advantageous look. When they're throwing it into a good look. They do a really good job of that. So that's the thing that stands out. They're rushing as well as anybody in the country, and then throwing as well as anybody in the country, and they have a lot of weapons that they can use.
First start for Dylan for Cleveland this weekend, and a big win for Bo. Dante's been off to a hot start this year. What does it just say about what Coach Stein has done in his time here in terms of developing that position?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. We've had a lot of success with quarterback, and Will's definitely a big part of that. Our offensive staff is, and it's great to see those guys doing really well at the next level.
I think Fernando was like 40 of 43 2 consecutive games. Or what allows him to be that accurate, that dialed in, and consistent?
Yeah, their timing is really impressive. They know where guys are going to be at. They do a really good job of shaping their routes. He's got great delivery. He's able to throw the ball extremely well, but he's throwing it, and he knows where his wideout's going to be, and he knows what coverage he's throwing into. So that's an indicator of a really well coached player and that knows his system extremely well.
Sticking with the quarterback, you guys faced him back when he was at Cal in 2023. Just how has he progressed from then until now in this season?
Well, I think he's surrounded by some really talented players, and I think again has a really clear understanding of a scheme. This offense, when you watch it has an identity. You're going to see the same play ran a couple times. The window dressing might be different, but they know how to run this play. It's not about inventing new offense. It's about running it better than you and executing it better than you, and they do a really good job of that. And then they do enough of that to where you think, okay, this is what it's going to be, and then they throw a wrinkle in there, and it is different. So he's playing in an offense that clearly has an identity, and he's playing around really good players.
Probably the best receiving group that you've gone up against so far this year. What have you seen from 3 and 13 specifically on tape?
Yeah, they're strong at the point of attack. They go and catch the ball. If they're not catching the ball, they're creating pass interference calls because of the way they attack the ball. They've got good speed, and they can run all the routes in the route tree.
What's enabled them to cause so much havoc on defense, particularly in TFLs and sacks?
Yeah, I mean, it's a multitude of looks. They're aggressive by nature, right? They do a good job of eliminating explosive plays, but they run a lot of, simulated pressures and fire zone pressures that create, havoc up front. Paths change quite a bit, with the D-line, a lot of different stunts that they use. And the guys win at the point of attack when they do blitz. So they do a good job of that.
What kind of sense of comfort does a guy like Dante provide you and the rest of the coaching staff as a guy who doesn't put the ball at risk and avoids those negative plays and sacks and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think it's really important, and it's tough against a team like this that plays a little bit more spot zone. They break on the ball really, really well. They do a good job of playing in zones and understand where the quarterback's going to take the ball. So this is one where we have to do a great job of protecting the ball, but our quarterback's done that so far. Dante's got to continue to do that this week.
There's a narrative out there nationally, which I know you could care less about, but that this team is ahead of schedule because they're so young and playing so well. What does that mean to you when you hear that?
You're talking about our team?
Yes.
Nothing.
I was off Zach there just a little bit. This is one of the better wide receiver cores you faced so far, and you've got a couple of young DBs. What's allowed them, both personally and then from your staff, to progress so quickly in this defense?
Yeah, preparation. These guys have worked really, really hard. We pitch a lot at them every single week about understanding how we're going to play certain coverages or adapt those changes. Those guys have worked really hard, prepared really hard, and then they push themselves in practice to get the results you want on the field on Saturdays.
Sounds like Pons is going to be available for Indiana this weekend based on what the coach's comments earlier. What kind of a difference maker is he, and kind of what do you see on film?
Yeah, he's a great player, and it doesn't just show up on defense; it shows up on special teams as well. Obviously, he primarily plays the boundary, but he's a guy that can cover whoever he's lined up against, but also does a really good job. He's blocked the punt this year, right? So he's a guy that shows up all over the field for them.
When you're going into a quarterback matchup like this where two guys have played so high level, how do you try to create advantages? What does Dante have to do to kind of separate himself from Mendoza in this game?
Well, he'll never be on the field the same time as Mendoza, and Mendoza will never be on the field the same time as him. So all he has to do is go out there and play his game, and the rest will take care of itself. He's competing to be the best version of himself. He's not competing against him.
I don't believe Jaleel made the trip to Penn State either. Just where is he right now in terms of status with the team? And I know obviously still coming off things health-wise, but we've seen him play in some earlier games.
Yeah, he's still practicing with us, working every single day.
It's been a while since we asked, but I was curious if you could give us an update on Dylan Gresham, Evan Stewart, and Trey McNutt.
They'll all be down this week.
You had said last Wednesday during the bye week that you had taken a different approach. Any insight on how that went, what you guys did specifically?
Yeah, just a little bit more focused on recovery, on some of the work that we had to do. I think you check boxes as a coach, like, okay, do we have a physical team? What do you need to ramp up in a bye week? What do you need to dial back? And I feel like we have a physical team. It was important for us to be able to recover and train ourselves with more mental reps, more than physical practice reps at times.
Dan Lanning, Oregon football head coach. 12:30 kickoff on Saturday. Ducks facing the Hoosiers of Indiana at Autzen Stadium. Game day's in town. Looking forward to a top 10 battle. appreciate Coach Lanning taking the time. That was his weekly press conference. He'll meet with the media after practice coming up tomorrow. And then on our Oregon football coaches show at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, we're looking forward to talking with Mateo Uyunglele and Rashad Samples. But first, today, Deputy Athletic Director H.J. Cohn is here. He's going to get settled. Timeout. We come back. H.J.'s bringing the energy on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Dear Truckin' Awesome, Toyota Tundra's got heart-pounding horsepower. Tacoma is one rugged ride, and the 4Runner is tough as nails. Truck yeah. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. Being a veteran, it's interwoven into your DNA. It is really the absence of the connection and the purpose that can really drive a lot of veterans to some negative thoughts. For those who are in a suicidal crisis, the window of time to save somebody's life is very short. Our duty is to protect ourselves and protect our families. And one way you can do that is store your weapons safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
I'm coming home to the place that I remember. Back to the land of my first love. Would you spread wide your arms for this wayward son? I left my heart in Oregon.
I said he's bringing the energy. He's H.J. Cohn, Deputy Athletic Director, joining us in the Country Financial Studio. H.J. is always good for a couple zingers per show.
Okay.
Do you have any chambered today? You just want to just get them out of the way?
No. They come naturally with you.
Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. H.J. Cohn, our guest. We're going to talk shout. We're going to talk about football. We're going to talk about men's basketball. We're going to talk about mini plans. We're going to talk about tickets. And then, of course, anything else that H.J. would like to highlight, because those are my bullet points. And I'm saying that to everybody now, knowing that those were my bullet points. And then when we don't get to all of them, at least you know that they were written down on a note sheet once upon a time.
Squirrel.
That's right. Are you that way all the time, or just when you talk to us on this show?
No. It's easy with you to have some fun. So
Good.
it's actually a compliment to you. I
Thank
can
you.
enjoy and spending time together, and
that's nice.
Sometimes we go off script.
Yeah, well,
it's healthy.
That's assuming there is a script.
Well, you just gave it to the people.
Bullet points aren't a script, though.
No,
that's just
level.
it's like, oh, you're gonna make sure you allude to this, right? Okay,
all good.
Let's allude. Shout. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Shout is a campaign we announced last week and launched
Cool.
for the athletic department. I think we've continued to hear the words ever-changing landscape, and it's true. I mean, college athletics has been changing for quite some time.
Sure.
You know, I look back even the last 5 years, how much has happened in the large scale of things, and
sure.
COVID, NIL coming into play, conference realignment, CFP continuing to grow. So there's a lot of things
Nothing happened.
that has happened previously in short order, and that is on the horizon. So we were excited. We were working on it for a while to announce this campaign. It's an annual goal of $20.5 million this year for this academic year and fiscal year. And we kind of came up with the name of Shout. When you look at our events and venues at all of our places on campus, whether it be Autzen, PK Park, Jane, Hayward, Matthew Knight Arena, we have this tradition of playing shout, and all the fans get into it, and even opposing fans sometimes, which is awesome to see.
It's pretty sweet.
It's a collective effort, and what makes it. And so when coming up with that name, this campaign and the hope for it is that it's a collective effort, and we have had extremely generous support from the past. People buying tickets, but this is a true philanthropic campaign. And the goal behind that is, one, to stick to our core mission, provide an exceptional student-athlete experience here at the University of Oregon. And that leads in the form of scholarships, the Jaquith Center, academic support, mental health support, nutrition, athletic medicine, equipment, you name it. But additionally, to remain competitive in what the NCAA and college athletics is allowing all of us to do. And we have opted into participating in the 20.5 post-house settlement revenue sharing opportunity. And to do that, we are going to proactively fundraise for that, all the way from an annual supporter who is the biggest Duck fans and doesn't miss a game back east for whatever sport it may be, all the way to our current season ticket holders, and ask them if they'd be interested in learning more. And that can be on an annual level, all the way up to those interested in making 5-year major gift commitments. And so we really wanted to announce this campaign and share, here are the ways that you can help impact that. And so we were fortunate to do it last week, and I think we're currently at a 3.187 million after looking at it yesterday. So seeing a strong response, really, really excited about that. We did see it kind of come out of the gates and get started at a high priority and a top tier level, and then just continue to build on that. We will continue to keep this top of mind throughout the year to our fans and supporters all over the world.
Well, and you said that the number is not just, you pulled it out, right? Like, this is specific coming from the changing landscape, if I can use that phrase again.
Yeah.
$20.5 million, that's what's allowed per the House settlement, and it allows for opportunities for student athletes. At the core of it, that's what it comes back to. But hence, if you were like, wow, Joey, when you talked about this last week, that was a very specific number that you gave. Well, there you go. That's why.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at where college athletics continues to go, right? And there's opportunities provided. And this isn't the first one. We had years ago where there was deregulation by the NCAA and allowing schools to do more should they have the resources and financial support to do it. And that was in the form of nutrition and meals provided to student athletes. So we have seen this happen over time, and Oregon has continued to find ways, and that has continued to allow all of our programs to have the resources to provide, one, that great experience, but remain extremely competitive and compete for championships. And I think it's obvious, right? All of our fans want to see us continue to do well in all of our sports. And it's our job to continue to put ways in front of our fans and the external folks to say, hey, if you want to continue to support or jump on board and start supporting, this is a great opportunity to do that, to, one, remain competitive on the field, on the court, but also, again, provide that great experience that we've been fortunate to do.
You touched on just the support, but also everyone always has asked over the years, right? Like, how in today's landscape there is a much clearer path to supporting a student athlete. I mean, this is about as clear as it gets now in the world that we're in, right?
Yeah, exactly. And true third-party NIL is not going away. Right. We have to continue to discuss and talk to business owners and put them in touch with student athletes that have shown interest. Those opportunities still exist, and so for us, when the post-house settlement went into effect on July 1st, we looked at it as an opportunity. Again, let's go be bold. That's something we've always prided ourselves on here at Oregon. Let's be innovative and come up with this campaign to, again, allow anyone at any level to participate. That, again, goes to the annual one-time gift. It could be a monthly reoccurring gift. It could be a multi-year commitment over 5 years, where those say, hey, we want to allow you to project a little bit further out from a budgetary standpoint as well. And so this campaign shout allows us to do that, but at the same time, we have other priorities that will continue to stay in the fold, and part of that is going to be finding ways to put our student athletes in front of business owners, companies, leaders, and as you know, these student athletes have massive followings and have a brand that they can produce and tie it with a company. So we also have the ability and hope to continue to find ways to allow our student athletes here at Oregon to find those matchmaking opportunities.
Shout for the Ducks. GoDucks.com. Give it one scroll down. It's right there. You're going to see it on the front page. More details. Deputy Athletic Director H.J. Cohn is with us. We have not yet talked about football, and I have a hard-hitting question about Pens when we come back. He knows.
Oh no, it's
where
on
we're
my desk.
going.
Oh, devastating.
Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
When life blindsides you with an injury, you need a team that's tough. For over 30 years, Morgan & Morgan has been fighting for the people. This season, we're proud to partner with Oregon Athletics. Because whether it's on the field or in the courtroom, we're both determined to do what it takes to win. Morgan & Morgan, proud partner of Oregon Athletics. Injured? Dial pound law. Morgan & Morgan, 10150 Southwest 6th Avenue, Portland. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmettith and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
You said you'd never buy your kid candy from the checkout aisle. Or forget extra diapers. You'd never lick your thumb to clean their face. Never, ever become a minivan mom. So when you say you'd never leave your child in a hot car, know it can happen. Cars get hot fast, and kids can be at risk in temperatures as low as 60 degrees Fahrenheit. Never happens. Before you leave the car, always stop, look, lock. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You know you make me wanna kick my heels up and throw my hands up and throw my head back and come on now. So good to see you real.
So
bring it on, Joey.
Deputy Athletic Director H.J. Cohn with us in the Country Financial Studio. He was not in the Country Financial Studio 30 seconds ago. We tested how fast his 40 time is, and by the way,
Joey?
go Ducks, drink Pepsi, huh?
I feel so complete now. I got my pen back. I got my Diet Pepsi.
So, true story. If you've missed our conversation, we've discussed how H.J. always has a pen before. The origin of it is to always be ready to have a writing element if somebody needs to write something for you, right? Well, I had a fan come up to me at Northwestern during pregame. A lot of Duck fans, by the way, at Northwestern.
Yeah,
cool to see.
great. That was awesome.
Awesome. Came up to me and he's like, hey, I got to tell you, I think I saw H.J., but I couldn't navigate over to get to him, and I just have to know, do you think he had a pen? And I was like, oh, no, I'm sure he had a pen.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great – it started off, if you recall, kind of that overcast, rainy, light rain.
No, it was a full
cold
thunderstorm.
Well, thunderstorm was that morning, yeah. But
we were there.
Then you see that, and then by start of kickoff, it was beautiful. So I had my, all-weather gear, which is in the form of a vest, and absolutely had the pen under.
Yeah, well done.
For that one person in the world wondering at home.
Well done by you. Well done by you. So,
but yeah, you had your hot zinger you were going to come to, which again, this is the you got to take opportunities and learn from them, right? You can mess up once, but let's not do it again. Next time you want to come at me, don't go to a commercial break.
Oh no, I did not want to put you on the spot.
You should have absolutely
No.
fired shots.
No. We're on the same team here.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're on the same team. I'm just glad that you have your pen. How fast did you get to your office?
I did get a comment. Nate Kruger was like, wide turns. Yeah, no, he saw it.
Don't blow any ACLs, okay?
No.
Please, no. H.J. Cohn, we continue. Football season, though, we joke, but it has been fun so far. And if anyone sees H.J. at an event, please just come up to him and say, hey, you got a pen? That would be great. It would really make my day
excited
if somebody did that. Penn State trip was fun. Bye week fun. Now getting ready for Indiana in town. It's been a fun football season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for our fans, and we kind of knew this, we had I would argue the best traveling fans in the Pac-12. And as you go to the Big Ten, the fan bases or stadium sizes for that matter are significantly larger compared to ours at Autzen. on an average standpoint, and so their fan bases have historically traveled well as well. And our fans continue to travel, even if it means further distances. And so at Penn State, awesome. I think people saw the video of the football team and Coach Lanning going up and pointing to them and just saying thank you, which has been a really cool tradition that the team has really appreciated and done right by the fans on those road games. Same thing with Northwestern in a small stadium, 12,000 people. It felt like we had half the stadium going and cheering for the Ducks. So anytime we go on the road and seeing that fan base, not only coming from Pacific Northwest, if you will, but we have a national brand, and we're excited to see them come out.
To that national brand, I've talked about this, I feel like, a lot the last couple years and a few times this year. Now something like game day coming to Eugene has sort of become routine. Like it happens every year. And to me, that is so illustrative of the growth of Oregon's program, where the football team is on the national narrative, but also it never gets old.
No, it absolutely doesn't. The irony behind that is I was reading an article, I think it was by John Wilner in the Mercury last week, and they basically, I think it was a year after, reflecting on Cal's first game day ever.
Right, first one ever.
And, game day, obviously, one, it's just fun to have. It's obviously the show that everyone watches on Saturday morning for many, many years, and obviously we are fortunate to be partnered with the Big Noon Kickoff and excited for them at some point to get out here and celebrate our home stadium. But when game day comes, they've had such a great tradition, the Duck and Corso for so many years. But for us, the impact it can have on the entire university is pretty catastrophic. And yes, we have been fortunate to getting it many times.
Right.
But that article that Wilner wrote, I want to say the two most clicked links after game day came were majors offered at Cal and the admissions and how to apply. And so the impact, not only for athletics, we certainly enjoy it from a fan perspective, our student athletes, our staff, but at the same time, the overall lifting the entire institution, the university, it's a 3-hour infomercial.
It is.
Right?
And to that point, remember, at one time, it was in the parking lot at Autzen. The move then made over to the Memorial Quad. The Lillis Business Complex is in the background. Giant O on the window. And by the way, that O never came down.
No.
That O has stayed there. I'm with you. I mean, think about all of the students that get exposed to the University of Oregon as a whole because of that. It's such an opportunity.
Yeah, no, we are always excited to welcome them back. We've had it quite a bit. But to your point, it never gets old.
Yeah. Talk about football. Ticket update. What should fans know?
As it relates to football, I mean, we've had just a great success, and it's a kudos to the fans. We are sold out, and we were sold out prior to the season kicking off of season tickets. The ripple effect on that is, are there mini plans still available or single game tickets available for certain games? And now as we sit here today, we have extremely limited reserved tickets available for both the Minnesota and the USC game. I think as of yesterday, it was 100 left for USC and 300 left for Minnesota. And then we look at other options such as standing room only options where it makes sense. And so the demand, but also the passion of Oregon fans is certainly exciting. We've already put out there 2026 season ticket deposits for those interested in next year's season. And the beauty is when we joined the Big Ten, they did a 5-year look-in and showed who your home and away opponents in the conference would be. So we know what types of games from a conference standpoint we have in the future. And so encouraging people to season tickets is probably your best value, especially with what the market does when there's high demand games. At the beginning of the season, I think Jason Harris told me this the other day, was you could get a single game Indiana ticket when it went on sale in June for half the cost or a third of the cost of what it is now. It's a top 7 matchup. Game day's coming. I mean, all the hype. We're really excited.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. More football updates as we continue, but we got a little bit of time left with H.J. Cohn, Deputy Athletic Director, to talk a bit about men's basketball. If you're with us today, the men's basketball and women's basketball TV broadcast schedules are coming out from the Big Ten today. More details on GoDucks.com. I'll just put it this way. A lot of games on TV. That's a good thing. And now the schedule, as a result of that announcement, the schedule I should say, is completely finalized now, which is pretty fun. Men's basketball, women's basketball season going to be here before we know it.
Yeah, I mean, on the men's side, October 24th, exhibition game, but a well-known
Utah baby
competitor. Yeah, in Utah, coming to Eugene and Matthew Knight Arena, which we're really, really excited about. And then we kick off the season in early November. So we are going on sale this week with mini plans and then single game tickets shortly thereafter. And so we are hoping that our fans come out both on the men's and women's side, both making it to the NCAA tournament last year, returning a lot of starters and team members of both programs, and showing your support and also seeing a great product on the floor. Yeah. And so those seasons right around the corner. We have Matt Night Mayhem coming up on the 27th, I want to say, at the arena. That's a community-based event. It's a complimentary or free event. Come, bring your kids, dress up. There'll be giveaways, there'll be prizes, and a chance to engage with our student-athletes from both men's and women's basketball, volleyball, acrobatics, and tumbling, the arena sports. And so, again, trying to find ways to engage with the community in a human level where they get to see some of their maybe children's idols or mentors up close and personal, and then cheer them on from afar throughout the season.
I hope somebody is better dressed than Kelly Graves, who takes Halloween very silly seriously.
Yeah, no, he's like top generational.
No doubt about it. But I have a feeling that there's a fan that can challenge him in the costume contest.
Yeah, he wants challenges. Yeah, let's go.
That's right. Matt Night Mayhem coming up. Details on tickets coming, and also some fun concession specials on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, I'm going to announce it. I don't know if it's breaking news or anything like that, or I'm supposed to hold it back, but I'm excited to announce it on Tuesdays and Thursdays this year. Working with John Sargent and his team at the Arena of Concessions is we're going to offer $3 beers and $5 taco plates.
Let's
street
go.
Tacos. So, standing O. Wow,
standing
I like it.
Ovation in the studio.
We want that arena to have a great energy and atmosphere, and any little lever that we can continue to pull of attracting people to say, you know what, that might be really fun and a way to create an experience, whether it's a family member, friends. So that's just another thing we're trying to do in the market to make sure we get a great atmosphere at Matthew Knight Arena and also come out and support our teams.
That's awesome. Concession specials at Matt Knight. Many plans are on sale. Single game pre-sale going live soon. Basketball season around the corner. He's H.J. Cohn, and he's always got a pen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Deputy Athletic Director joining us in the Country Financial Studio. Up next, after a pair of home wins at Matthew Knight Arena, Trent Kersten, Oregon Volleyball head coach.
Yeah, baby.
Coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
Hey Duck fans, at Country Financial, they make insurance easy. Whether you're shopping for home, auto, or more, their representatives will take the time to understand your specific needs and explain what options work best for you. Worry less and feel more confident knowing you're covered. Visit countryfinancial.com to get started today. Experience more with Country Financial. Auto and home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, and Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
We just kind of knew from the beginning that we were family.
They showcase a sense of love that I never had before. I mean, he's not only my parent, he's like my best friend.
At the end of the day, it's all been worth it. I wouldn't change a thing about our lives.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. Brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom? She started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Weekend at Matthew Knight Arena. We welcome you back to the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. He is Oregon Volleyball head coach Trent Kersten. One more time, 2-0.
Let's go.
At Matthew Knight Arena. What's up, Coach? How are you doing?
Great. Yeah.
was a good weekend for us. So much fun to be home.
How about that? Just straight to the point. Good weekend.
Yep.
We've moved on.
Yep.
Well, what else is on your mind, Coach? What else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, number one, our crowd from the weekend.
Great.
Our student section was awesome.
So good.
Gosh, they were amazing. And, I told the president of our pit crew, I think after our match on Saturday, I was like, you guys are literally accounting for points right now.
That's cool.
We had some big-time performances from our team, and then they were helping us every step of the way. They're on that opponent's server when they're on that side of the court. It's so fun to watch. Yeah.
So, I'm glad that you brought that up because I heard you mention it a little bit afterwards, and just seeing the way that the pit crew responded. Students were back. It's kind of become that annual tradition that the first time that freshmen are on campus, they fill Matthew Knight Arena, they fill the pit crew. So that was the first experience that a lot of them had. My question for you is, what else can they do to help you? Like, educate the crowd a little bit. We want a volleyball educated crowd at Matthew Knight Arena.
Yeah, I mean, I think Val even said it in her interview post-match after Iowa was, like, it was cool to see that they weren't just engaged on, like, good plays, but they just appreciated good volleyball, right? And I thought that was a really cool step. As far as our student section, like, continuing to create noise and havoc and stress when the other team is serving, like, that's our biggest opportunity. I'll never forget going to Illinois this year, and I think I told you last time they're decked out in Duck Dynasty gear. Everyone's got orange vests and fake beards, right? And they've got. I
can respect it.
Yeah, no, it was great. They did a great job, but their whole 1,000-person student section is sitting right behind Alana, who's our freshman opposite, going back to serve, and it's just like it's different. Yeah. It's different when you have 1,500 people or 1,000 people cheering against you to go fail. Like there is a distinct home court advantage in the Big Ten.
Yeah, hey, Matthew Knight Arena, a part of that. I mean, and to put it in context, like you talk about how a crowd can influence a match. Well, maybe no better definition than that thriller that you had against Iowa.
Yeah.
What was your blood pressure like throughout that one?
It was actually calm at the end because we were down I want to say 12-14. We sided out. Alana is actually going back to serve at 13-14. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking back to Illinois and I'm like, okay, well, we've worked on this week. This is her moment of growth, and she's either going to be able to do it or like she's not quite ready yet and we're going to get back to work. And sure enough, she came through, hit 3 great serves, and then we ended up winning off of a couple great swings by Val, right? And so how cool is that we're ready for some of those moments right now? I think everyone that has followed our season can see, like, this team is growing in front of our eyes, and that's kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the year, right? And so now where's our focus? It's to keep growing, and to stay healthy and hopefully be our strongest at the end of the year. And so that's what we're dialed into right now.
Well, and it's so cool you bring up Alana. I mean, like, what a great option at the service line, as we all saw, right? Yeah. But just even the growth in that specific example, I'm glad that you said that because that has to be a high-pressure moment that she came through in.
100%. It's not just like a this year moment for her. That's like a career moment. Remember when I was down, I didn't serve well the previous weekend, and I came back, and we were down by 1. I have to drill this. I have to go for it. And all of our team in that timeout was like, you got to go for it. We got your back if you miss. If you miss, we're good. We're going back to the gym. We're going to figure it out. Right. But go for it, otherwise you'll regret it. Every single message in that timeout was that to her. And so sure enough, she went for it, and it paid off.
Well, and it's cool to hear, I thought, just to hear the crowd react in that moment too, and to see the team react in that way. It was a cool environment, but also it said to me, like, you've talked about a lot on our conversations and even like post-match, you have to have that controlled aggression. You feel like this is the weekend where you took a step toward that, like you kind of know what the aggression needs to look like?
I think we took a step, and we understand what it takes for us to play winning volleyball right now. Again, are we where we need to be in the grand landscape of collegiate volleyball right now? Like, no. Like, we're working towards it. There's a bunch of areas that we need to keep addressing. But, like, are we finding some ways to win in the Big Ten, which is extremely difficult to do? Yes, 100%.
Sure. Okay, we talked about students. We talked about the Iowa thriller. It was a quick turnaround getting ready for Ohio State. So I was curious, like, when you turn around that fast, there's a big adrenaline from winning in 5. What was the evening like for you and the coaching staff and the student athletes? What's the morning like?
Yeah.
And then what's the feeling right before you get first serve?
Yeah, so both of our scouts were done by probably Tuesday of that week, right? And our staff does such a good job prepping all that stuff. The reverse thing happened where Ohio State was playing Washington that night, or the night that we played Iowa, right? So Ohio State has to travel from Seattle down here, and we have to download and do that entire match that night. So Jerry, our technical coordinator, and I were probably in the office till about past 2, breaking down. I consider just sleeping on the couch in the office, at that point.
I get it.
And then I think our first video session the next day was 10:30. Luckily, it was a night game. So the hardest is when it's a night game and then like a 1 o'clock game.
Yeah.
Like that's a tough turnaround to get film downloaded. Hey, here's the walkthrough of what we're going to do. We're going to let you sleep as long as we possibly can and all that stuff, right? But luckily, it was a night game and a night game, and so that really helped us space out the day to give them the proper rest, or as much as they could. And then we were pretty sharp against Ohio State.
I mean, that's what I was going to say. I mean, there is something to be said, I'd imagine, right? For you just have some momentum. It's probably nice to play quickly, right?
Yeah. I think I told my wife after, I was like, I can't remember the last time we've swept a match before the season.
I get it.
And so it was nice to be able to come out and have a performance that was consistent. We actually were down in the first too by quite a lot, and came back, and from that point, from halfway through the first, we were pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, 25-21, 25-20, 25-17, that consistency. I was curious about that. I mean, to just have that level of consistency, that's got to be pleasing for a coach. You feel like you've taken a step consistency-wise for this team?
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's so hard to definitively say with this group and this much new, right? It's like, oh, you guys are I think I got asked in the interview after, how'd you guys get back on the right track? I was like, maybe we weren't off of it.
Right.
Maybe we just needed to have some more time going in the direction that we were going and to continue down our journey. Like this team we have moments of being stellar.
Right.
We also have moments where we're not very good. We've got our most experienced player that's changed position. We've got multiple freshmen on the court at any given time. We don't play great floor defense, but we're pretty good from the service line. And so how does that all complement each other in any given set of volleyball? It's going to have some of this, and we're working to address all of it, but this time for development when you get to Big Ten season is like this much in your week. It's this much. And then there's a lot of prep. Our one training day this week is today.
Right.
Yesterday, movement.
And instead, he's here talking to me.
Yeah.
See? So there you go.
Yeah.
Right there.
But that's a pretty normal week in the Big Ten. You get one day to really focus on developing yourselves. The other 4 days are about prepping for the next match or playing.
Well, and how much of it, too, then comes back to, and we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but it comes back to the film review, right?
Totally.
It's such a mental aspect to the game.
Totally. And it's film review for the people that have played, but how do you make sure your positional groups are still continuing to push each other and make sure that you have someone coming off the bench that's ready for that moment when they get their opportunity to go in and have someone's back?
Right. Trent Kersten, Oregon Volleyball head coach. We talked about your floor defense, I feel like a few times, and I was curious, though, to ask you a little bit about the block and the way that you defended at the net. Because again, the amateur watching here, but it felt like against Ohio State, you had command of the net oftentimes on the block.
Yeah, so Ohio State had this unbelievable middle blocker. Her name's Kaya. It's number 19.
Okay.
We were committing 2 blockers to her every time she was front row. And I look at the end of set 1, and she's hitting 500 on 10 swings. She's still crushing it. It's oh, man, how could we be committing this many blockers to her? But give her credit. She's very, very skilled. And then at the end of the second set, we finally got a couple. And so it paid off in the long run. But the Big Ten is different scouting than our preseason because – the Big Ten has players that can do probably 4 or 5 different things, but their pattern when they when they set that person, you can kind of know okay, if the ball's passed here, they're probably setting this person.
Right.
The issue is that hitter can still do 4 or 5 different things, right? And so in our preseason, we played a bunch of teams that had a bunch of different players that did different things. But they had like one major tendency. Maybe they only had 2 options offensively, and so defending those 2 things is a little different.
Right.
Against everyone in the Big Ten, it's like, hey, we're going to take away 2. She can probably do 4. So if she does one of the other 2 things, like, we're going to give them that point, or we're going to have to make a play somewhere.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's a good player, right?
Yeah,
like that's
totally.
That's what you have, you know. One individual that did stick out. I mean, the stat sheet says 7 blocks, right, in Holly McFadden. I haven't asked you about Holly, just the way that she's developed defensively for you.
Yeah. So, man, she's kind of been forcing the fire this year. She was supposed to redshirt. Like, that was the plan, you know, and then something happened within our positional group that forced her on the court, which is an awesome opportunity for her. But, like, she's, like, trying to climb this ladder right now, and then got hurt for a solid 2 weeks and is finally, like, physically back to where she kind of left off. And so you're starting to see some of that.
Right.
Now, is she still learning and growing? 100%.
Sure.
You know, and I think – in general, in the NCAA right now, volleyball level is down a little bit, and I think that's just because of the lack of COVID years anymore.
Sense.
You know, and so you're seeing a lot of new faces on the court for a lot of different teams, and so you're not seeing the 5th and 6th year experience like you have the last couple.
Right, and then that's, you know, you talk about a player that can do like 5, 6 things.
Yeah.
Those players might be able to do like 7 or 8 things.
Right.
You know? So,
Totally.
no, that makes sense as we finish up with Trent Kersten, Oregon volleyball head coach. So this is one of those odd weeks where you go on the road and then you come back. So it's USC on Thursday at 6 o'clock on the road, and then Washington is in town on Sunday, folks. 1 o'clock start on Big Ten Network. That USC matchup, by the way, is on Fox Sports 1. A couple TV opportunities for Duck volleyball and fans to tune in. That's exciting this week.
Yeah, I love playing in the Galen Center. You know, it's such a great environment. One of my best friends is the head coach there, and so we've been close forever.
Do you talk this week?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, we already talked about connecting when we were there and all that stuff, but so super excited to get a chance against a really great team. Cool. You know, they've got some great weapons. They're young. You know, they got a freshman setter, they got a freshman opposite that's playing really well, and they've got a couple other pieces that are just make them very functional. It's going to be a tough match for us, and it's a cool opportunity for us to, you know, see where we're at against another really good team in the Big Ten.
That's Thursday at 6 o'clock, and then fans, remember, back at home, Sunday, 1 o'clock, Ducks, Dogs. It's on Big Ten Network. It's going to be a good week.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good week. Quick final thought, just to shout for the fans, because that would help on Sunday, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Gosh, we need you guys. Come on, rivalry game. We got to get this going. We need that one, and we're at home. We're undefeated at home. Like, come help us. Come help us try and keep that.
That's a quick little plug there. You see how easy that was? Just, hey, undefeated at home, by the way, everybody. Undefeated at home. That's a veteran move by the coach. Just slipping that in, the undefeated record at home. The Ducks are 11-3 overall, 2-2 in Big Ten play as Big Ten play resumes this week. He is Oregon volleyball head coach Trent Kersten. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, guys.
All right, timeout. Come back, and we can all breathe on the show. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by one of your local branches today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
We know you turn to the Duck Store for all your game day needs, and for students at the University of Oregon, it's even more. Class supplies, jobs, a seat on our board, a place to take a quick coffee break. Because we're your student-first, non-profit college store, every purchase you make directly supports the very community we serve. From working in our counters to studying in the classroom, from directing our stores to cheering in the stands, the people we serve, the students, are the very people who are the Duck Store.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't act like that. Don't wear that. Don't think that. I've heard everything you tell yourself every time you felt different. And I want you to know that you can be vulnerable and powerful. That taking care of your mind is taking care of everyone you love and who loves you. Love your mind. Find mental health resources at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
I'm a pretty great multitasker. I can wash dishes and do laundry. I can roller skate while walking my dog. I can even order lunch while doing my homework. But I can't use my phone while driving. A distracted driver is one of the leading causes of death in the United States. So when it comes to driving, please, don't be a multitasker.
Don't drive distracted. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
I want you to know. I said I want you to know right now. You've been good to me, baby. Better than I've been to myself.
I'll tell you what, Oregon Volleyball has really, really been fun. And I will say, just from my chair, that was a cool environment. So for all the students who experienced Oregon Volleyball for the first time, maybe on Friday, Saturday, come back on Sunday. You know, you got a 12:30 kickoff for Oregon football. You got plenty of time to sleep in on Sunday. And then it's a 1 o'clock start for Duck Volleyball against Washington, which honestly is a big time matchup, not just because it's the rivalry, but I'm telling you, as the Big Ten standings start to take shape, where the Ducks are 2-2 and they're undefeated at home, a top 25 opponent in USC for Oregon Volleyball on the road at 6 o'clock on Thursday. I'm just telling you, that one against Washington may have some big-time weight in terms of a postseason resume coming up. Now, I waited to say all of that until Coach Kersten was out of the studio. You'll understand why, but I think y'all know what I'm getting at. You know, these regular season meetings, they start to really add up. That's also true for Oregon football. Another opportunity for a top 10 win for the Ducks against a top 10 foe in Indiana. 12:30 kickoff Saturday. Don Fisher, longtime voice of the Hoosiers, is going to join us this week for some preview. And we, of course, will have Dan Lanning meeting with the media tomorrow. That's all on the horizon. Fun show. Thanks to H.J. Cohn. Ask him if he has a pen if you ever see him around. See you tomorrow.
How serious is youth vaping? Irreversible lung damage serious. 1 in 10 kids vape serious, which warrants a serious conversation from a serious